All right, first game of the night. I'm going to try to record live. I'm playing the 1v1 deck list. I'll bring up the list in between games. Opponent said to mulligan twice going first, but they are playing Alaro, so perhaps they'll recover from that. We'll see. I have a killer opening hand, and we'll just see how this goes. I'm trying something different with this deck list. I actually played 9 games with a little less tricky of a version than the one that I'm playing right now, and that version did fine. I went 9 for 9, I believe it was, and that was on Friday. However, I'm trying something a little bit different here. It's innovative, certainly, and it may be correct. It may be crazy. We're going to try to find out. This opponent's demonic tutoring here. Assume they're going to get mana crypt, perhaps. Hard to say. Because I have Spellseeker Force. I'd prefer not to have to force a Spellseeker, but I might let them stick a Mana Source and then Spellseeker for a Vandal Blast at some point. Or something similar. Well, we'll see. I think what I want to do is get this Lantern down. And then do a little tutoring of my own. Of course, you can pause it here if you want to see the deck list. I think the correct answer here, though, against Alaro has got to be go get Necropotence. Force will my opponent's Necropotence. Push mine through. And if it turns out that they're not running Necro, if that's not the card they went and got, then great. I will be in fine shape here to run out a very soon anyway, Necro backed up by a Force, or I can Spellseeker for a counter. Something along those lines. Just try to make the game take a while. Alright. So let's see here. Opponent's going to draw 3 cards. So would I force one Ancestral? I would. Especially holding a Necro. Because we're now even on cards, but presumably Necropotence is going to land and then I'm going to be way ahead and this game should be over. Hard to be sure though, because my opponent could have a Force of Negation of their own, in which case not quite as good, but we'll see. Alright, so I'll play this, stick this, make sure that I have enough mana in case my opponent tries to daze here. Could they even daze? It doesn't look like they can. Run out Necro and go for it. So the other thought I had was whether or not I could play Breya there and then try to hope that over the course of the next turn I'm able to land a Necro. It's risky against black because they can make me discard. It's risky against... How many do I have? I need one more. It's risky against blue because I don't have any more counter magic and they could easily have push something through. I think I'll not bother to over Necro. It's probably just fine here, so we'll grab those cards. Alright, looks good. Teaching is a good card for me to respond to my opponent's plays. If it turns out that they were actually using Painful Truths to lead into something worse, even more painful plays, perhaps. I'm not seeing it though, so far so good. So grab some blue here and fabricate. So I'm actually thinking about getting a scroll rack because it lets me, it kind of doubles the power of a Necropotence. The other option is just to get more mana. Get more mana on the table. Expedition map, for example, could let me go get a wasteland. When it's blue mana, his situation is a little shaky there, and then I can continuously waste him with Crucible. I kind of like this play, so I think I'm going to go this route. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just kill this now. Maybe they'll throw blue and... Okay, no. That Confidant here is kind of not meant to be useful to me, actually. I'm going to go ahead and over Necro now. Because my hand is pretty bad. And I don't really need the lands with the Crucible, so I really just need to find more cards to ensure that I continue to win from this winning position. So dump it, and dump this one. Much better. Alright, so now Dark Confidant. It's really meant to just be a distracting factor here. I want my opponent to address the Confidant because I actually don't want to pay extra life for cards when I have Necro that allows me to pay 1. Of course, Confidant can hit lands, and then they're free, which is good. Average cost of the deck's below 2 mana. 2 mana, excuse me for the hiccups. So it's even... It's very close to an Necropotence, just a slow one. But all that said, I'm happy to trade this for any card that's removal or disruption from my opponent. Doesn't look like they either have it or they're not buying it, so either way is fine, I suppose. Alright, Serum Vision. So yeah, I paid 1 life for a card just like I would with a Necro. Alright, so now I want to go after their rest of their mana base. This way. Let's get that blue. Normally I don't attack with Confidant into white, but if my opponent has Condemn here again, I want the trade. After combat I was going to run out Narset, which would kind of pin him pretty hard, and I was just going to charge a Relic and go ahead and just Necro for... I wasn't even going to... I suppose I would have minus Narset at some point, but I wasn't going to do it that turn. I'd do it at the beginning of a turn so I could spend the mana more effectively, probably. Because putting cards in my hand with Necro is kind of not that great. So let's take a look at what the deck is, what the thinking is in building this deck. So the thinking is this. No Winter Orb is a really big loss. And so there's also no Strip Mine. So against like a fat green ramp deck, I don't have very many ways to punish them. The easiest of what's available is going to be either Deluge if they're running a bunch of mana dorks, but typically the deck I'm concerned about that Orb would help me with is Land Ramp, and Land Ramp can get very, very fast. And Armageddon is the card that gets me out of that. It's also a really good punish for mono blue. So basically mono green and mono blue are the decks that Armageddon is in there for. Now if my opponent happens to, of course if you can play it against anybody and get the advantage, then fine. Now if my opponent happens to be a big creature deck, well, Deluge is there, and if they're a big artifact deck like mine, Venal Blast is there. But because I'm not cheating Winter Orb, certain cards I think can come out of the deck. Cards that are designed to take advantage of Winter Orb primarily and then secondarily do their thing. One of them was Treachery. This is the one that I'm on the fence about. Treachery might still be good enough, even though in an Armageddon world it's a little less good. You're not untapping lands quite often. However, just stealing a creature is good. But there's also Vedalken Shackles, quite a bit weaker without when you're blowing up lands. So even though this deck actually has 3 basic islands, there's more islands. I'm not running the Shackles, I'm actually running an additional mana source instead. And so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to take advantage of the fact that I do intend to blow up lands with a couple different cards. Strip Mine's out, so I need a replacement. I put Flagstones of Trocare. It's not a Strip Mine. It's just a card that works well when you're trying to Armageddon at some point in the game. And then Land-Tax Scroll Racker in because since his Divining Top is out, So I wanted a Sensei's Dividing Top replacement, which Scroll Rack is, and then Land Tax just works very well with Armageddon. Now, unfortunately, Land Tax Flagstones isn't the greatest. If you Armageddon, you have a tax that you want to get going. You just, in that case, you just don't search for a plains, or you search for a plains and fail to find. So it's not that big of a deal, but just something to think about. Meanwhile, though, I'm also running a card, the Death Cloud here, which is kind of in the treachery slot. And Death Cloud is an Armageddon because Mind Twist is banned. So I needed a replacement kind of for that. Death Cloud can be that. It can be that for both sides, so you have to be careful. But it's a little less painful when you have extra mana sources, bigger hand size, and when the card is really bad when you're behind on the board for lands, but you go get Armageddon to deal with that situation. So they're way ahead. They've ramped out 8 or 9 lands. You've got like 3 and an artifact mana source. You go get Armageddon and you punish them. If they try to sandbag so that they can play around Armageddon, then you develop lots of artifact mana. You try to focus on that and go ahead and play as many lands as you can and keep your hand as light as you can so your hand is low, and then you go get Death Cloud and punish them for holding a bunch of cards in their hand. So that's the idea. It's if they dump to deal with the Armageddon, a bunch of creature mana in play, you go get Toxic Deluge and punish them. And if they put a ton of artifacts into play to get around all that, you go get Vandal Blast and punish them. So the idea is there's no safety anywhere for your opponent. And so we'll see how it actually plays out. But I mean, game one went fine. But game one went fine because I played Necropotence. That's what Necro does. Black, 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 win the game. And it's because I'm running Necro and support for Necro that I thought maybe I could try Death Cloud. So we'll see. We'll see if that's actually true or not. But I think it's an interesting. I think it's an interesting idea at the very least. This is a hand I would very, very much like to keep, but I believe I'm gonna have to mulligan because I have no blue. This hand is definitely a keeper. On the other hand, and it's a little tricky on which one to tuck here. But I think it has to be Cryptic, and let's just hope that I don't force a will with a copy artifact, because I'd love to copy a Chromatic Lantern with this hand. But at the very least, by keeping this way, I can cast my Duretti if I do have to force a will. Okay. Okay, good. I have another card that I can use to force a will with. So that's real nice there. We'll go ahead and run this out here and pass. You can see you can quickly get ahead and then set up for a nice little Death Cloud turn, but Death Cloud's mostly for sandbagging hands, and it's expensive and slow, so I don't know how good it'll do, but it may do pretty well. Like, it's very possible that it's correct in here. It's just not, I can't say for sure, I don't know, but it might be. It's just kind of interesting. I'd really love to get to Ready down, but I want to hit a land drop, so I think what I'll do is I will brainstorm here and hope, yeah, that we can land a land drop here. Talisman copy. I could actually, I really want to hold on to blue cards for force. Copy's better than Talisman. I could get a really fast start, though. I could actually dump the idea of Duretti. I think I'm going to dump this, though, and I think I'll put... no, I think I'll put Trinket Mage away. Alright, so this is what I want to try to do. I don't actually have to tap this for mana, so... so what I want to do is I want to get Duretti running, and I want to keep Force of Will on a blue card. And copy artifacts less important than the other 2 cards. So the plan here may be to go actually get some Death Cloud action. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cloud for 3 right now isn't bad, or Armageddon. Arena. I may actually be willing to force a will that. Huh. let's see. So I can draw lots of cards off the Trinket Mage. We'll see what happens here. I can also play the commander first, in which case I can get my Merchant Scroll, which is hiding on top. So I'd really like to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and run out Breya. I'm going to pass to the turn, and then Trinket Mage can go get Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp can rebuild my hand very quickly, and it combos with Duretti for 2 cards per turn. And the Merchant Scroll on top will allow me to prep for that with by picking up a counter magic. So yeah. But I felt like on this turn, Breya in play is just so much tempo that it was well worth waiting just a little bit longer. Well, it's getting a bit annoying, but anyway. So we'll go ahead and go get that mana drain. For later. The other option is I go grab a Opal here so I can sit on mana drain. So I'm a little bit nervous about what my opponent's going to do, but I think Skull Clamp is probably fine. All right, so I don't think I'm playing this game out exactly well. What I should have done there was not tutored for mana drain. I should have just went ahead and took advantage of my clamp before it gets destroyed. I think this was a mistake. So we'll find out if I get punished here. Obviously, if I untap with this mana drain and the skull clamp with the kind of board that I have, then there's no punish. The game's over. But the thing here is that the ready's really close to ultimating, and ready ultimate can go get me a lot of mana, right? Three crypts if I want them, or triple chromatic lantern. I can go get 3 solemns and put 3 lands into play, setting myself, and then sack the solemns and draw cards and stuff. So there's a lot of nasty stuff that can happen with that. I don't know what's going on here. Is this a glitch or is this 2 lands? That is weird. Looks like a glitch. Anyway. Will my opponent play? They've certainly got a lot of problems facing them right now. One of the things that they should be doing is attacking the ready with Solemn. They should want the Solemn off the board. The problem, of course, is that the ready can copy things in graveyard. So, actually, I guess that doesn't really stop. I guess that doesn't really stop that much, and it is sort of acting like a blocker for the Breya because I'm not pushing extra damage here with that thing on the board. So maybe that's not right. Let's see what my opponent does. I guess they just scoop. Okay, well, I guess we're okay. But I mean, next turn I was gonna steal the Solemn. Anyway, draw a billion cards was kind of the game plan. Which generally wins games, but I don't know. I didn't play that game out as well as I should have. I should not have risked everything tapping out for the clamp and stuff because there's punishes that my opponent can play, especially in green or black. I mean, there's a lot of risk there that I didn't have to take. Anyway, this looks like a keeper. Opponent playing Sidisi. It's a little bit of a risky keep. I get a couple of turns, but then after that, and I got to force a negation, but I actually don't like it. It doesn't really do anything quickly. To be honest, I don't really care much for this hand either, but I may actually mulligan again. Huh. So if I keep this hand, I can throw away Will and Cryptic. I think that's correct. I'm going to throw away Will, and I'm going to throw away Cryptic. And the reason I'm doing that is because I didn't have any interaction with an early Soul Ring in the previous hands, which was a concern. And then I need Impulse to try to find a way to recover from this mulligan. So well, if I can get up to Breya and start smacking with a sword, I suppose that's something. Clamp would let me get back in the game mana-wise, or card-wise. It's a little risky because I do need to get Breya on time with this draw. Oh, well, there we go. Okay. Now if I miss a land drop, it's not too bad. And if my opponent plays like land ramp there, it's certainly not bad. So for tempo purposes, I might be better off playing Breya right here. It totally depends on whether or not my opponent taps out. It looks like I can resolve it, so I'm going to go for that. Yeah. Because if my opponent taps out for Sidisi here, if they didn't have a solution to Breya there, and they tap out for Sidisi, then I got a really good turn, right? Tormod's Crypt. Tassiger. Alright, so now I can draw a bunch of cards. Gonna attack, kill this thing. I'm 1 mana away from actually getting that sword rocking. Alright, so wait, what is this play? I like this play a lot. I could kill the zombie and keep the Breya, but I'd much rather just kill the Sidisi and draw a bunch of cards. I like that a lot. Okay. Let's go get some cards. I don't think I want to bother too much with land tax, but I can. Nice. I can set myself up real nice here. Yeah, so I go get mana drain here, and then that's pretty much it. Another 2 cards off the clamped up Spellseeker. Yeah, we're in great shape. Opponent disconnects. Alright, let's try again. Hopefully I can get... No counters or mind control. That's a hilarious comment. Mind control? Like what? I left all my mind control at home, guys. I'm sorry. I suppose what they mean is like slaver? Like mind slaver? Is that what they mean? Perhaps that's what they mean. That's just actual mind control. 1 second, I need my opponent to lose. Done. Slaver is actually an interesting card. That's another really good card. I suppose that's another way to get ahead and win would be to run something like Academy, Ruins, and Mindslaver instead of Cloud. Run Slaver, Academy, don't bother with Armageddon because you're trying to get ahead that way, and then maybe run extra mana sources or more ways to go, put it into play. But man, that is an expensive combo. You need 6 plus 4 plus 3. So yeah, 13 mana. I mean, you probably should win the game if you're the control deck with 13 mana anyway. I'm pretty sure a Deathclad will win at less than 13 as one Armageddon. I mean, and that's the point, right? Like an Armageddon often is just 4 mana win the game, or Vandal Blast is 5 mana win the game, and when these aren't good enough, this can be a little bit more expensive for a game-ending card. Hopefully. We'll see. If I get some games. Meanwhile, in the 1v1 or in the non-1v1 world, the correct. Yeah, I also don't run Urza in that version, by the way, because I'm not cheating Winter Orb. So Winter Orb cheat, Winter Orb cheat. This is an Orb cheat, but it also has utility in other ways because of the discard effect. It's also Disrupting Scepter, so it's in both. The Winter Orb itself, Strip Mine Recursion, right? Does the deck have Brought Back in it? I don't even remember if I have Brought Back, since his Divining Top's gone. Mind Twist is gone. It's kind of nasty, because the 4 cards that they ban from the 2 versions or all the cards that they ban are these 4, like the last 4 that I just laid out. Alright, so I think I'm playing first. Yeah, alright, I can keep this playing first, I think. I'm going to be a little careful with playing out my islands. I've got no way to pick them back up. So once I get them down, they're down. And then I'll run out of land tax, scroll rack type of effects. Although honestly, I'm not 100% sure how much I care. About overly adjusting for tax rack. Gonna make this play here, but if I can protect, I can pay a life for a remand here and kind of protect my islands a little bit, then I'll go ahead and do that. If I can score rack them back in, or Jason back in, like in this case. Then that's what I would like to do. Well, not happening there. Hopefully I can draw a land. Not an island. I really don't want to play my second one and only have the one, but I suppose it's still good. Okay, so this is just a tempo play here. Waiting for the opponent to pass priority, please. Would you do that? Thank you. Still didn't find one. Okay, well, I guess Jace it'll have to be. So I think I want to do is something along the lines of Demonic Tutor, Mana Crypt Jace, so that I can get ahead on mana and cards. And then that gets me one closer to the active Opal. Alright, Force for the Impulse. Probably not going to need Vandal Blast Disenchant. But if I am going to need either one, only one of them, it's slightly higher likelihood that it'll be Disenchant, or something like Aura Shards or Sylvan Library. So it's good to hit a blue card there. Now I can Imperial Seal and Jace. Have haste. Well, I can't counter that. Is Jace dead? My commander can also make pretty good work of blocking. so that I can extract more value from Toxic Deluge. Then again, I'd have to get my commander into play, which... So I could impulse past the cards I don't want. I'm actually willing to do that. Chromatic Lantern's pretty good. Okay, so I want to go land, Lantern. But it's kind of a given. The next part is the question. I may just zero. Dump Delta under a sword, I think. Get the commander down. I think I really don't need to draw Delta or sword at this point. There's no shackles in here, so I can fetch my lands a little bit more cautiously if I like. I don't need blue. Lands for Vedalken Shackles, so. Run this out to protect Jace and then stall. So trying to pick up value on that on the Deluge play. But I'm also at a point where it's probably time to go ahead and grab a Cloud if I want to run Cloud out. Or I can grab, well, nearly anything, especially if I end up Force of Negationing here. Okay, it's going to be a Deluge. That's pretty silly. So I don't want to, at least I think I want a Deluge. So I can sack those to kill this thing and then block an attacker. Attacking from my opponent is not great here. Can Armageddon. I can wait. I think if I want Deluge, I go get it this way. Or why do I keep saying Deluge? Cloud. Something like this. Decided against. I'm going to keep him back for blocking potentially, but sure. Do I want Cloud or not? Like, am I just being silly here? Should I just go get, like, Necro? Probably. I don't know. I just want to see how good it is. So now I can Snapcast or Remand. If my opponent tries to make a big play here, for example, their Sliver Overlord. I don't even have to bother with that, though. Truthfully, if I snap Remand, it doesn't really get me anywhere because if I'm gonna Cloud, everything's pretty much doomed. On the other hand, yeah, let's do that. This is actually interesting because it does kill their mana sources and take the card out of their hand. Is my opponent just going to scoop here? I guess I'm not going to even get to Deluge. That's kind of annoying. I'd like to. So there's the cloud. Okay, well, I got you. Hey, that was nice. Severely nice. Okay, so we'll mash in, blow it up, see if I can get the scoop. Actually, I don't need to kill all my lands unless I want to take out their hand, which I do, so I'm going to kill all of my lands, therefore. Let's tap lands specifically. Alright, so 6 cards in hand, huh? So I could sack Breya and the Crypt to gain some life in response. So I don't die to the Crypt. It's not a bad idea, but let's just do it. I'm hoping here that my opponent just gives up anyway. No? Okay, well, we'll see what happens. So this could have just been Mind Twist, or whatever the black card is, black and X. And that may have been better. But who knows? So this is one card that reduces my opponent to no cards in hand, no permanents, nothing. I don't know. Seems pretty good. I may have been better off sacking the Crypt. I'd be at 19 right now. So we'll see what happens. Crucible, though. So probably fine with that top deck. Because now I can go get Breya down. Alright, cool. Pretty hard to recover from that. And I think from here it's elementary at this point. So now I can tutor up whatever I want. Or I can just kill my opponent. Let's say 3, 6, 9. Yeah, they're at 9. So attack, kill, that's fine, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just get mana drain. It's interesting. It does a lot of damage. I wasn't really considering that part of it, but that's certainly nice. I could throw cards at my opponent, but I'm just curious to see what happens here. Mostly I just wanted to see what my next draw was going to be. Definitely a card out of kept. Alright. So that was interesting. So the cloud was a kill. I don't know that it was the right kill. Like it was it unnecessarily complicated or whatever? But I mean, I could set it up and it was very easy to pull off. Yeah, look at all these cards I'm not using. Brought back? Am I using brought back in 1v1? Should be, right? I meant to go back to the 1v1 list. Oh, I don't have brought back in here either. Well, I suppose I understand why I don't, but so I don't have brought back in here because the best target for brought back is lands. And I'm running land tags and Armageddon. So if I'm like early on cheating brought back lands into play, for Armageddon, then that advantage is erased. If I'm cheating them into play and I'm taxing, then that turns off my tax, so it's kind of not that great. Or at least that's the thought. This is, I can't remember, it's junk. Anyway, I'm going to just play this tabbed. Okay, so now I need to tutor to deal with their tutor. Most likely, whatever they get kind of informs what I get here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So I can just kill that with a Vindicate if I want to. Or I can set up, I can go get a mana drain and I can kind of set myself up. I might just kill that now. I kind of like the idea of getting a mana drain and then Snapcaster, like running it into Fact or Fiction, doing something along those lines. Has no ultimate, so I mean I can get it later with a Snapcaster Tutor Mystical like Vindicate type play. So I think we'll just do this. What happened there? So so the person. That is extremely strange. I thought I clicked OK on what I was going for. That sucks. So I basically threw away a tutor? That's horrible. Yeah. Create a Death Touch token. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That was miserable. All right. Well, opponents missed a land drop. They're not going to win on not going to win on the strength of Karn. That's for sure. I'll go ahead and just take him out of the game now, I guess. Sure. They're going to kill me with a Mind Crank? Is that the plan here? All right. Well, This time let's tutor correctly. Go get a Vindicate. Kill this thing and then... That was kind of annoying. Nice timing on that. I'm going to go ahead and grab some cards and we'll worry about it in a second. Me. Probably a good thing I chose to do that then. Probably taking the 3 pile. Because I'm getting hemmed. Nice. So I can Coliseum at some point, but for now... Let's go ahead and just get some pressure going. Got 2 mana for Breya's activated ability, or Coliseums, I suppose. Yeah, sure. You know, a couple of cards in my hand, so you can get a hit. I could have Coliseum in response, but I'd rather just save it. Coliseum is a way to work with tax too, but my opponent's so mana screwed it's pretty ridiculous. Do I want the Grim down? Honestly, I've got a lot of tempo here. I may actually just Coliseum, but I'm gonna chill. Unless my opponent does something that I need to worry about, they're totally losing this game. Black, black, black. Necro would do it. Giant. A giant Mind Crank would do it, or Death Cloud rather. Do I want to search? I think I will. My opponent's really not doing anything. I could just win. Grim, Vandal, Deluge. Yeah, I think that's fine. So an Impulse, Armageddon Impulse type situation. Yeah, I'm good with that. Blow it now or search and then go for it. I think I should search first. Actually, I want to Impulse first. Okay, Leak is perfect. There, Skorek is actually even more perfect. All right, let's blow it up. Because, yeah, I'm good with just killing you with this Breya here. Alright, so there's the tax. Cool. I don't know if I played that correctly either. Honestly, I was so far ahead that Armageddon there may not have been correct. This is one of those deals where it's like, what feels right? That kind of thing. But so what about this Death Cloud? I wonder if it should just be Mind, whatever it is. What is it called? Mind something or other. Mind Shatter. Yeah, I wonder if it should just be Mind Shatter. Just do it one-sided. Don't worry about the lands. Leave the Armageddon in for what it does. Leave Mind Shatter in to do what it does. It's not bad. Maybe Cloud is not where I want to be because it doesn't let me I lose board presence. Of course, I mean, against a non-artifact decks, it's just death, right? Like it's no hand, no cards, nothing. But a lot of times I can set that situation up myself. I look and I can see that they're missing land drops over and over, so Armageddon, and then all the cards in their hand might as well have been destroyed anyway. Or you just smoke their hand and they don't get a lot of options. You might shatter them and then um, try to come after their lands later. I guess it's like I don't know. Is that better or not? It is one-sided for sure. Right now, I still have the Death Cloud though, so let's see. I think it's too early to tell. Cloud or Shatter. I'll probably end up with one or the other. Well, this is a hand that really wants to be kept, so I can tutor up a workshop. But looks like I'm gonna have to mulligan anyway. All right, who's going away? Flagstones. Got Soul Ring control, hopefully. Gets a little worse if they run out even more artifact mana because then I can only tag the one, but oh, nice top deck there. Okay. All right, game on then. Was their keep predicated on that Soul Ring? We'll find out. As also a nice rip. Because I get to do this. So I've got counter magic up. I've got the ability to go get some extra cards into my hand eventually. This is they want to be, so this card rewards them for playing artifacts, so I expect that Venomous Blast will be missed, but so it goes. So what I want to do is I want a mystical for a demonic, I want a demonic, I want to counter something, and then so I want a mystical for demonic, I want nothing important to happen here. I mystical for demonic, I DT, theoretically, right, because nothing, color spells cost one less, yeah, so, right, so I want to keep this off the board. Although, if I want to go for tempo, I can counter this, play my commander. I think that's probably better. And get around to this in a bit. So what I was saying was that I would let it go DT for Necro, but then I'm getting beat on with my opponent having reduced cost stuff. It's not really great. And also this top deck right here. Red, black, white, blue is fantastic because this lets me go Breya, tutor for demonic. I don't actually have the mana to demonic into Necro, which is a little bit unfortunate. Like I'm a black short, so I'm 5, but I don't have black, 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 and another black. If this was the blue black land, then I could do it. So this all comes up. Sure. And now I've got to change my play. So I could go get Will, but I don't exactly know what's going to happen. If I get Will, I get to go Will. The other option is I can go get Tithe. So I go Will, land, and then I Mystical Tutor again. The other option is I can go get Mana Drain, play Talisman, and just play a little draw go for a little while, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Because my opponent missed a land drop, they're kind of in desperation mode here a little bit. Mana Drain's a heavy punish for them, so print. He's going to get all the abilities of a Soul Ring. So it's tap to gain Soul Ring ability. I think that's pretty acceptable. I love you too, son. Because I can do this. I love you too, big boy. Good night, son. Alright, so now my opponent's got to deal with Breya. In order for this welder to be any bit useful, like they're going to get a 2 mana, so they're going to get 6 mana this turn. 7. They've got Joyra, they can get on the joyride here of card drawing, perhaps. But, I mean, overall, like, they've got to deal with Breya pretty quick, or I just kill whatever and then sit on a mana drain, and it's a pretty good spot for me. Huh. It's a weird one. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on over there. Lesser mana cost, so it doesn't even get the welder back if I kill the welder. Huh. Which, I think, at this point I do kill the welder. The Soul Ring's exiled, so I don't need to worry about that. The Trawler can't recoup the welder. I'm on a mana drain. My opponent had 7 mana, now they've got 5. They weren't doing anything with 7, so they're probably not doing anything with 5. And I've got a real nice punish if they do manage to, if they get mana drained for Joyra, because then I can tutor for a Gilded Lotus. Play the Lotus, play Will. Yeah. And then tutor for a Necro. And I can also pop the Scrap Trawler with the Vandal Blast on the way out, plus pick up an extra land, which I like quite a bit. So upkeep. Let's go get that. I'll make sure that I do this correctly. Hopefully do this correctly, right? Okay, so I want to Will, tutor. I don't have anything else to do with the black mana, so we'll go ahead and run out the Will. Tutor for a Necropotence. Run out the land. Kill this stupid thing. Apply pressure, and then next turn my opponent's in big trouble, because if they want to tap out for Joyra, well, I'll just kill it with these two cards while slamming a Necro and ending the game. Opponent knows I have Necros, so they can't really afford to tap out, but if they don't tap out, well, pressure. It's the power of pressure. Force the opponent to do something that they don't want to do, I would think. Reservoir, okay. See your Reservoir and raise you a Necro. I will keep the Mox. It allows me to drop 2 mana sources next turn. I missed a land this turn, and I'd like to maintain my tempo. So I also really would love my opponent's Reservoir. I'd love to copy it, so it looks like something like copy the Reservoir and then dump my entire hand into play, gain a ton of life, and fuel my Necro. Seems pretty savage. I won't always yield to that, because if they manage to get over 40, I do have to be concerned, but generally speaking, I probably don't. What is this? You can have a Foundry Inspector. Probably should have given him the Welder, honestly, but it curved too nicely with his hand, so we give him the Inspector. It's slow. I can deal with it in a minute. Okay, so I want to play Cavern of Souls, naming human. First things first, I want to copy the normally I'd copy the Lotus here, but I'm going to copy the Reservoir. I think that has a ton of value here. Okay, Necro's going to exile that. Go ahead and run out. Yeah, Vault. Let's get that human going. I don't need a Skull Clamp, so I'll make it a Soul Ring since I'm not doing a lot else with my mana here. Get real close to actually doing lethal. Let's draw 7. So that card is insane when you have a Necropotence out, but without it, it's a card that you look at as your top deck and you think, well, that sucks, right? So that's why it's not in the deck, if you're wondering. Because it's absolutely a wretched top deck. Alright, so I'm going to go here, going to yield to this, and then I'm going to kill the Karn, I think. Don't need that, and I can go ahead and do with one less mana source. It's fine. And what is this? 6 more life in my hand, plus this will actually get another card, so 10 more life, put me at 40. I can go to 50 pretty quickly. And then I can go ahead and just nuke my opponent. I may have been better off just focusing on that line of play, but Spellseeker will let me go get a card that I can gain. This is actually 1, 2. 3, 4, 5 cards, so it's actually going to be more life than what I just added up. Assuming I can play them all next turn, which is a bit of a stretch. Well, we'll see. Alright, so something like this. Oops. So Spellseeker lets me get an instant though, and I can actually get extra life this way. Yes, I want to use the ability. Holy smokes. Maybe the card I just go get is Brainstorm. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we'll run out a bunch of blue mana here. Use this to go get even more mana. Alright, so the reason I'm not responding is because of this trick right here. So this is going to put this on the stack. And then I'm going to add Brainstorm to the stack. Okay, now we'll go ahead and let that one resolve. And then I'm going to dump, I'll dump these two guys. And then I can add one more spell to the stack so I can get even more life. Let's get rid of the mountain. Don't really want my opponent responding to anything I'm about to do. Resolve that. And what I'm about to do is just nuke my opponent to death. Okay. Well, that was nice. The Aetherflux Reservoir was in Oloro, and it made a ton of sense in there. But in here, it feels a little bit gimmicky. In the Oloro deck, there were even more ways to... There were more combo cards that comboed with life gain, so it could trigger other things. For example, you had Well of Knowledge, and then it also comboed with the commander itself. So, I mean, if a game went long enough, you could just win that way. So, in here, sorry about that. In here, what was that? Somebody pop on? Did I get a game? What was that? Anyway, in this deck, I think, like I said, it's one of those cards where that card is just death with Necro. It's a 2-card combo that might as well just be a win. You're going to draw unlimited cards, and eventually you'll be able to play enough to just win, like I did there very quickly. But Necro in itself, what I realized was that Necro in itself is just a win. So overall, probably not that important to have that. Two, it hasn't been too good for me so far as land tax. It hasn't been great. Maybe tax rack just isn't good enough. I always end up wanting it to be good enough, and I often end up back in this situation where I think, like, I feel like it should be, but perhaps it isn't. I don't know though. I'm not playing against the decks that it's meant to be played against, which are the blue decks primarily, and green, like the two harder matches. It's also pretty good against black. So I don't know if it makes sense to pull it or not, but if we were to take out tax rack, what would I want? I mean, I can add more cards like more Armageddons and stuff, but I don't know. Part of the reason, though, that it may not be doing so well is that I'm not really supporting it. I'm not running Gush. I don't have Daze. I don't have Deprive. I don't have anything like that, and that could be an issue. It could be the issue for making the card better. If I want it to be better. So I think when I was first doing this, I had like 2 Armageddons, no Death Cloud, and then Armageddon's Ravages, and then The Abyss was the other card that I was using, which kind of makes a lot of sense. Certainly has, there's certainly decks that just lose to the Abyss. But I don't know that the decks that lose to the Abyss are the ones that I'm going to struggle to play against. And that's kind of the issue there. Also, I was saying with Brought Back, like, I want Brought Back in this deck. It kind of functions like a mana source, but it's certainly cool with Armageddon, although now you need, like, 4 plus... You need 5 mana in play, the Armageddon, and float 1 white, and you have to have 2 of it has to be white, and then you have to have a 3rd white in your hand. You play it, Brought Back, and you get 2 lands into play, and then boom, yeah, sure, you win. I mean, maybe that's the new tax rack. Maybe that's how I should be looking at it, but this combo has a totally different set of, it's strong for a totally different reason. So I don't know that that's right. Run like Thoughtseize or something. I don't know. I'm not going to make any drastic changes. I would like to get some games so we could get some information. I suppose I can always try to play a regular game instead of 1v1. Okay, looks like I got one, so I'll go ahead and drop out of this one, and we'll just play a regular match. Fully powered, mind twisted, and everything. Winter Orb, the works. All the lovely cards that make me happy to play. Alright, so Seal of Cleansing. Yeah, I love this deck so much. This deck just feels so much better. It's the same way that playing Vintage feels better than playing Legacy quite often. So what's the right way to do this? So do that and pass. But what do I want to fetch? Okay, life loss. Sure. I need mana source. I've got mana drain though, so what I really could do is just avoid missing a land drop by going to the Ancient Tomb here. Tomb, Talisman, mana drain into Jace. Hurts a little bit. Hurts a lot, but it doesn't matter that much. So just so I don't miss land drops, I think I like that. I mean, I can seal this thing later, but let's get on the mana drain plan first. Okay. Sure. All right. Not expecting much from this game. Go ahead and hit some more mana. Would be excellent. There we go. In a 20 life game, sure. I'd be at 10 right now, 9 after the Misty, and even a little bit concerned. I've got an Ancient Tomb, but this is somebody who's just not building for the format. All right, so blue, white would be very nice. So I can stop. So I can play the CO and still have white mana available if I need it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so Wayfarer is not going to get it done. Do I need Seal of Cleansing at all? I don't think so. So I would like to get this down, start smacking with the sword. Then I can easily play Teferi with the mana drain. I want to get the Imperial Seal off as well. I can do both, actually. So I could just disenchant their stupid thing, but I don't really like that. I'd rather prep for a mind twist, and then go ahead and go grab some extra mana. With the Soul Ring, I've got a Mana Drain ready, so... And then Teferi will take care of the Liliana's Caress if I want it off the board. One reason I'm not getting Mana Drain with a Jace up is because I'm holding Mana Drain. I want to place a main phase. A very weird choice. I guess actually in this case it makes more sense because they don't want me to get like 4 more cards. But the best play would have been during my upkeep to hurt some of my mana. Anyway, 5 cards in hand over there. I can actually twist for a little bit less. I can also Spellseeker. I can also Jace the Spellseeker. So I'm going to get some mana back from the Feast and Famine, so we'll just run Twist for 4. Make sure I got that right. Run out the sword. I play discard a little better than my opponent does. Gotta step up your discard game there, pal. Anyway. Alright, 1v1, trying for a game. I'll throw one out here if... this person's very specific. You can counter creatures, but not anything else I do. No counter spelling my Armageddons. That sounds like a fun game. I'm sure that they also mean don't cast Armageddon. But I always run into this problem where my opponents say, okay, no doing this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do this horrible, disgusting play that the thing that you don't want me to do would have prevented. And then they're like, no, I don't want you to do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll just do this horrible thing that having those two things in the environment would have prevented. And they're like, I don't want to play with you. Okay, I don't really want to play with you either, but I was hoping you might have learned something from the from the demonstration. That's how that usually goes. All right, so which one we fired up on? This is a 1v1. Okay, cool. So we'll dump the other open play. No, this is the open play. Can't even tell anymore what I'm playing. Anyway, this doesn't look... this doesn't look like a great hand, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have kept it. It's a little bit slow, but Brainstorm's is so good that... Alright. Oh, well, that'll do. So I think the correct play here is actually do this, pass, set up for a Fact or Fiction. This certainly uses my mana more efficiently. Okay. Oh, this is the oh, okay, this is the fully powered deck. Well, that's fine then. Man, I said 1v1. This is a 1v1 commander game versus a commander 1v1 game. Jeez. Alright, so I obviously just want more mana. So I'm going to take probably pile 1. I should think. Yeah, let hers a go. I like hers a lot, but what this does, though, is it gives me a really nice opportunity to brainstorm. And then I can get rid of... Might be a little early for I don't think this is a necro hand with the crypt and the city. Well, I don't. It's not a shackles hand. It's probably not a necro hand. I don't know what my opponent's trying to do over there. So I'll do this. And then, yeah, this is the full powered one. Man, this is so different. Yeah, sure, I'll just go get Soul Ring. Yeah, I'm going to get Soul Ring down. I'm going to get the Talisman down. I'm going to preordain. Figure out what comes next. All right, bottom top. And what comes next is this. Technically, I probably should have wasted my opponent before playing the Soul Ring so that if they had something like a Braid, they wouldn't have the superior target. They would have had to kill the Crypt. I don't think it's going to matter this game. Feel the dead. 7 or more lands, huh? That is some ambitious card selection in this format. So good flashback factor fiction. Eventually, I suppose that makes sense. Meanwhile, I think Teferi makes the most sense here. No land drop, but I did get to spend my mana, so that's cool. We're very quickly snowballing out of control here with the accumulation of mana and cards, which is what this deck tends to do. So I can Snapcast or Tutor here if I need to, or Brainstorm. And then I can clamp it for cards. I've got Seal though, so I think that's okay. Don't need to panic. Now, what do I want to tutor for? Because with Snapcaster, Clamp, and such going, I'd rather be mana efficient than worry about doing Effect or Fiction. So I can Enlighten Tutor for a Lotus. Almost always correct. Is just, again, I have mana, let's go get cards. I have cards, let's go get mana. It's always that way, so. I'm going to clamp that Snapcaster very quickly. Well, let's plus and see if I can find a Sword of whatever. Nope, sort of didn't. Alright. So getting for some damage. Weather Wayfarer is nice here, actually. Funny enough, I'm crushing my opponent in mana, and the Wayfarer is still going to be useful. So, it's pretty cool. Actually works really nicely with my colored mana as well. So let's do this. Take that thing out immediately. So the question is, do I want to clamp right now? So I can play Weathered Wayfarer not clamp, or I can get Narset down. I can clamp, and hopefully I hit a land, and then I can get Narset down, something like that. I was about to, was a bit to clamp him and see what was going to happen. So I would have clamped into this, played a land, then I would have played Weathered Wayfarer, and then I would have passed. And I would have sat on the 2 mana with the remand. So yeah, good stuff. All right, so I'll set this up, and I will set this up, and we'll see what happens first. Looks like I got a game on this side, so I'll minimize there and close this game out. Like more of that 1v1 action, but just to continue to test that version of the deck, but I don't know. I'm not getting it, so I don't want to sit around too long and get no plays at all. Well, one thing I do like to do is I like to bring up the deck list of the deck that I'm playing so I can refer back to my list. But it particularly helps when you're figuring out what to tutor for, so. I'm going to ponder off a tower. Now, I don't usually expose one of my better lands here, but because I don't... Okay, there we go. Top. Let's see, top. Not going to shuffle. So I'm doing that because if I were to have pondered into an Enlightened Tutor or a Vampiric Tutor, I might like to play it during my upkeep, and since I don't know what I'm going to get, I don't know which land to play first, so... Alright, let's do this. And if my opponent has no play, then the next couple of turns are going to be pretty sad for them. Well, this isn't exactly a competitive match, but so how greedy do I want to be? Do I just want to ramp right? Do I want to ramp in growth, or do I want to double ramp in growth? I'll be greedy. This opponent doesn't look threatening at all. And I've got Demonic Tutor to respond, so. All right, looks like we're getting interesting now. Card's certainly interesting, incredibly powerful. Suppose I could let it go just to see what happens. If I remand it back, my opponent could replay it for... No, they would need a little more mana. I mean, how greedy do I want to be? I would like to let it go. I want to see what they can do with it. All right, Tundra. We'll go ahead and get this guy. Grab those. So you can VB this, DT, plow this, or whatever. Clear their board pretty effectively here, I think. Or just get plateau, actually. Hallowed Fountain. So, how do I want to do this? I mean, it's a 2-2. I could just play my commander and kill it. That's probably correct. It's probably not correct because of the crypt. So kill this, DT, kill this. I think that's right. Yeah, I hate to waste. So I feel like this is not great because I didn't set up for, like, I didn't go get card drawing, but I do have the Colosseum, so I can Remand to dig, and then I can Coliseum my way into a little bit better. Wait, do I care? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I care for tempo. I'd like to have my commander down first so that I can kill that on the way down. Oh, that's nice. Let's do this first. Let's get this Coliseum down. Pass. And now if they make the same play, it's no longer a play I'm concerned with. Sure. As soon as we enter combat, I'm going to kill that thing before they have the mana to do anything. Alright, so opponent's dead here. If I orb him. I can demonic, I can not do anything and just muddle. Sit on it for a minute. I can Snapcaster for a demonic tutor. Which would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, yeah. Where are you at, Mr. Snap? Yeah. And then from there I can do T, and then my opponent's got to nail my hand, or else they're definitely dead. I'm going to go get, oh yeah, I'm going to go get, starts with an N, I believe, Narset. So I didn't get my best card. I didn't go get Necropotence because my opponent does make me discard here. I don't want to lose my best card. This is good enough, though. Should be good enough to win. Narset, Impulse, Super Dig. Coliseum my opponent, take away 3 cards from their hand, or dig into my hand if I want to. Energy. Yeah, that was good in Type 2 for a reason. Not here. Alright, so go digging. And there we go. Death. I should have waited for their draw step. Also, very poorly played. Par for the course tonight, apparently. Because if they draw for the turn and then I hit them with it, they just discard 3. Now they would have 6 cards minus 3, but no draw step. Now they're going to have a draw step and go up to 4. But it's fine. It's fine, but it's not nice. It's not good. Alright, well, whatever. Dead non-competitive player is dead. I suppose I could reanimate something. Yeah. Yeah, next turn I draw a card, and then I impulse again, and pretty sure that that's a win. That was not exactly, satisfying. But as soon as I saw the weird mismatched lands, like somebody was didn't even have enough, they're just grabbing basic lands of whatever I've drafted with to make a deck, then you kind of know. All right, I'll try I'm trying for the 1v1, but I'm just not getting it. Suppose I could jump into someone else's game. Maybe I don't need to put the scare comment in. Oh, okay, so this person's just not even there. Look at this. This is 1v1 competitive, right? No counter spells. I mentioned that before, but I just realized which room that's in, right? Oh, it's very funny. Anyway, see if we can get a real game here, a real deck. It's weird, but the decks are just different enough that I've got to like think differently about, as I'm playing, as the game's developing. Okay, yeah, so this is just not, it looks like this is not happening anymore, this 1v1 stuff. Doesn't seem to be too popular, and I'm not even slightly surprised. That was the point of the problem with the format to begin with. Well, actually, not to begin with. It started out popular, then they screwed it up super bad, tried to fix it, and it's just hard to come back from that. Like you don't get two chances to make a first impression kind of a situation here. So this is a keep. This is the full powered format, right? I want to be able to force the will of Soul Ring. I've got some disruption for looks like yep, creature based shenanigans. Um, I don't know what they do. I'll figure it out later. I should know. Let's see. Flip a coin, double the flip. Yeah, okay. Opponent kept a Soul Ring hand and died. Um, fair enough. Trying again. Maybe I can jump into this guy's game. Can we play? Hey, we got a game. All right, so 1v1. So we'll switch back to the 1v1 list. Now we'll see what happens here. Exciting. All right, so your rock. Well, I've got a first turn tutor. I've got Wasteland, lots of mana. Force of Will eventually. Looks good. Doesn't look great. But it's good. It might get me there. There's a permanent would trigger entering the battlefield triggered ability. Okay, so they get 2 triggered abilities. That's a weird looking land. All right. I was thinking about vamping, but I really like to get Dak Faden, so I'm gonna let it go, and then I'm gonna go after Dak. I was really hoping by letting it go for a turn that I might be able to top deck a blue card, and if I drew a blue card, then I would have a Force of Will for whatever the follow-up play is, and be a little bit better off. So I can go get Dak Faden here, or I can Wasteland the Harbor. They didn't make a play here, so I kind of want to Wasteland the Harbor. I'd really like a blue card, but are they going to counter that? Mystic Snakehead or something? Oh, they're going to Factor Fiction. Okay, so if they are going to Factor Fiction, then I can get Dak. What does this do? Return a creature, discard for kicker. Alright, so they may want mana. So I'm going to offer them mana or crappy cards plus a demonic tutor. This also separates the black from the black cards. Alright, so they dumped the lands. That's fine, I suppose. Not super happy about it, but they took the 3 pile after all. But I will take Dak Faden. They've got too many cards in hand. They've got a discard, so there is that. Alright, so they threw away that crappy imp. Alright, so go get the Tundra and then attempt to steal the Mana Crypt. If that happens, I think I'm okay. because I'm way behind on cards, but I'll be in great shape on mana. There we go. Way ahead on mana is better than way ahead on cards. Although I'd love to be both, so we'll work on that. Alright, so 2/2 no abilities, Demonic Tutor, I assume that's the card they're going to play here. Nice thing is Dak will hopefully get some blue cards in my hand so I can fix my hand quality issue. It's currently a little bit weak. Force Wall, no blue cards. I can cast it off of this, but if they tutor and kill the crypt. So let's see. Here goes a tutor. Yep. Leaving them with some weird multi-husk ritualist. I'm starting to think, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Think of what they're... Okay, so I still have the crypt, huh? Interesting. Okay, let's throw these guys away. Attack the mana because I like the way this game is progressing, and I'd like it to take longer. And also, with the Dak Fade and Mana Crypt plan, I'm on the Mana Denial strategy right now. Watery Graves. I can Yogg Will a Wasteland back into play. So what I'd really like would have been an artifact, like tap out for an artifact that I could steal, and then Will play Dak Fade and off a Wasteland, something like that. This is okay though. Okay. This could plus Dak Fade up, but I actually kind of want all the cards in my hand. I suppose I will anyway. Alright, so I don't want City of Brass. I guess I gotta dump the Coliseum. That's a little painful. Oh well. Get some extra mana down and prep for a Narset Dak. Alright, well, they've got that garbage creature. I know about that. It's not going to change anything about what I play, so I don't need to like constantly leave it up reminding me that they've got a bad creature. Who's coming to the party? The bad creature. Alright, so do that, and then okay, that's perfect for my Force of Will. So I want to hit my opponent's hand instead of my own. Question is whether I want to will or not. But first thing I want to do is dig. So let's go find. Okay. So if I will, I can replay a Wasteland, but not a Vampiric Tutor to go with it. So I don't want to do that. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and plus target my opponent. Well, I take it back. So I could will, land, vamp, Armageddon, force will their play, blow up the world. Considering what I have in play, that's not the worst. Or I can wait for a more valuable will that involves... I can also replay Cephalid Coliseum off a will, and I can Dak and Coliseum them and strip their entire hand away. So, why don't I wait? Cradle. Not planning to tap that for mana, are you? 2 black, is this going to be a Necro? Nobody ever plays Necro, it's so weird. Animate dead targeting Prophet of Krufix. So then I just vindicate your Prophet. Do I care? Well, it does give you an extra mana. It does give him an extra mana for Cradle. I think I will force because of what's going on over here. Because a little bit more tempo and my opponent can't. Okay. Ooh, that was nasty. Okay, so they get the Prophet, but they get a bunch of colorless mana. So that's actually not bad at all. Because they're going to get it right now. They didn't declare their attack phase and dump their mana pool. Oops. Let's say I have like a green X spell, for example. They probably just screwed their mana drain up, which is awesome. Okay, let's dig. Counter magic, very good. So I can will. Okay. Okay, so if that's going to happen, I can Colosseum the opponent's draw step. They're going to have Prophet. They've also got to sneak this guy into play, which sucks a little bit. So I do want to be a bit cautious. The other option is I can go get black mana and I can Vampiric to clear the board out. Let's go ahead and hit them here first. Problem, of course, with that being that it's going to be a little bit slow. I can Wasteland them. Yeah, the will's not great here, I suppose. Honestly, don't mind the Colosseum that much. They're going to be able to kill Narset, and I'm just going to have to live with it. But after that, like, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Alright, so draw your card. After they draw their card, Narset is a nasty, nasty play. So you can flash whatever out because of the Prophet, but huh. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Cool. I don't know, maybe I'm getting too cute here. I think I'm alright. Maybe I shouldn't have minus Narset because of the Prophet. I should have protected it a little bit harder. Is that a good thing going there? Well, that's fine though. Go ahead and start with the Wastelands. This should force them to play their commander if they're planning to, and then I can counter it. Let's get that blue. Alright, so I'll sneak that out. I want to get the I want to get that countered. Don't need a scrub. Probably don't need serum visions. And just keep hammering them with Wastelands. Their commander costs too much mana now. They got a stupid profit that's just like garbage. It's put pressure on me, but it doesn't do anything. It's not drawing cards. It's producing extra mana, I suppose. Both with Cradle and just getting the lands untapped again, but... Huh. Alright, let's Wasteland. But as soon as I vindicate it, if there's no other creature in play, then... or otherwise remove it, then they're out of luck. That'll shut off the Cradle as well. Huh. That forces them to bounce a creature. That's interesting. So they're going to draw a card. Unless I disenchant this. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which I'm not going to bother. So they're either going to Manowar the Prophet, or they're going to Manowar the Manowar. I assume they'll target itself, yeah, and then we'll just kill it. Make sure I've got enough mana. I can 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is better. I'm going to use my mana effectively, so go ahead and do this, this. Lord card's a trigger on targeting creatures. Nothing that triggers on targeting enchantments, so I'll go ahead and just kill the Animate Dead. And the Prophet will die as a triggered ability. And I probably should have plus stack, honestly, on myself prior to doing this, but since I didn't, I can afford to throw away Teachings and then what's the other card, so I think I'll just wait. I'm actually not going to plus on myself right now. I want to use it to throw away lands and then, because I obviously just keep hitting them with Wasteland. And scoop. Cool. It was a cool 1v1. Neat deck. Just not great. I don't know about this Death Cloud. This is feeling like worse and worse the more that I think about it. Because I'm unfocused. Right? I'm not focusing on what it is that I'm here to do, which is the Armageddon effect. Armageddon, Vandal Blast, don't care at all about your hand is the idea here. And if I do, then Mind Shatter is a much better way of caring about it, I think. So we'll see. It's interesting. Anything with the Mana Crypt is interesting, but it's been a while since I've had a scroll rack. I love the card. Honestly, I think it's a great card. All right, so I'm going to go this route. And now I did use a fetch land, but it's so easy to Wow, these lands are interesting. It's so easy to reshuffle that I'm not super worried about it here. So we'll just go get the land that I want, scroll rack away everything, set up the perfect hand, whatever that might be. It's not this. It's not the island. It's probably the impulse of the City of Brass. I've got this land. So I want to draw the... yeah, it doesn't matter what I draw here. Because I'm probably going to dig through them using factor fiction. So I'll put the impulse on top in case that doesn't work out for some reason. But I suppose actually there is another plan I could take. I can do this, fabricate into opal, and then impulse into cards that I actually find more interesting. So let's go do that. This is nicer because it just improves my... I want to hit my mana drops. I want to hit as many as I can, and I want to hit them as quickly as I can. But that also gets me one step closer to Necropotence. If Necro is the plan, it may not be. It's very early for Necro. I might tuck it away. We'll see. I think for now I'm going to go mana efficient impulse. Alright. So your commander coming down? Because I just impulse, play my commander, and kill it immediately. I could just scroll rack. Is the other way to go. Let's see. Well, if they go commander, I want to impulse because I really want to take that thing off the board. So let's do that. Marsh Flats it is. And then I'll, yeah, let's get that thing out of here. It's 2 cards closer to Necro. Alright, so... Alright, so that thing's down. And from here, I've got a Thran into Factor Fiction type turn, possibly. I've got something to do with... well, okay, let's see what happens. Dak Faden, maybe? Oh yeah, that's nice. 2, 3, and 4. We'll do this. So Thran into Thran. I should have attacked for 4 first. Okay, yeah, well, that worked out. Because the cards I was planning to sacrifice is these 2. So I can hit my land drop. So yeah, that was actually really nice. I should have attacked first. But, yeah. What? Sure. With a scroll I can play. This game's super over. You can factor fiction correctly with a scroll I can play for the most part. You can't do a 4-1 split. You're giving me 8 cards, right? Like 4 that you gave me plus whatever the next 4 is underneath. The best of 8. It's just not, that's just not going to work out. When it's on their 4th turn, I'm on my 11th turn, basically. Sure, I'm actually not going to counter that way. I'm going to take a look at my options, though. So I don't need this guy. I probably just want to run Necro out, so we'll do it this way. All right. I don't want Mental Blast in my hand. So, let's see. Well, first things first, let's stack. All right, so what I want to do is I want to play Teferi, Imperial Seal, something along those lines. Or I can Imperial Seal, trade in the Vental Blast for the top card. Yeah, I like this. So what I do is I trade in the Vental Blast for the top card, right, which I know is a counter, right? Then I Imperial Seal, and I guess I'll just cloud my opponent down, and I'll just Necro. I'm going to Necro for 1, and I'm going to pass. This is a little silly. I'm not sure about this whole cloud thing. It probably should just be Armageddon. So I assume my opponent goes land, and then I just counter it, right? And then on the next turn, I'm just going to run out to Fairy, Cloud, Death. Or whatever they're going to do, I'm just going to counter it. That's the game plan. Alright, so now this game's over. 3, 4, 5. Play this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, Cloud, and Death. Hand, lands, permanents, all of it go away. Sack 4 lands, you can die, you can die. I'll just get rid of the ones that don't have a special ability. I'll go ahead and draw and let my land for the turn and Necro for 7. I'll go ahead and float for blue. Always yield to these. Resolve that. Scroll back away all this crap. Keep my instant speed tutor guy. And be done. Tough game, huh? Who wants to play it out? Alright. I guess. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's like so silly. How do you play it out from this position? Anyway. Well, Cloud is, man, I don't know. But was it win more, right? Was it just ridiculous right there? I mean, I already had Necro. Did I really need to do that? Or could I just Armageddon my opponent, strand 4 cards in their hand like I was saying before, and just not worry about it? I mean, it's obviously nice in a format like this where people just don't quit when they should, but it's like really hammers home like, hey, dude, please quit. Or do that. Yeah, this is so close to a keep. Like, God hand, but it's going to have to be a mulligan. All right, so who's going away? I think could tuck the opal, or I could tuck the Tezzeret. I think tucking the Tezzeret's a little expensive. Let's just go for it. So I'll run this out like so. And then I actually want to refill my hand, so I'm going to go get Skull Clamp. That also means that if they attack my mana, like kill this thing here, I can cast the Clamp, cast the Opal, still have mana available, so I say cast, play. Also means I can do this though. Let's see. Okay, so if everything works out, then on the next turn I get to draw an extra card. 2 cards. And if I hit a land drop, 4 cards. Scoop. All right, well, so I draw, well, maybe I just go that route, but, commander, clamp it, draw 2, play land, clamp the other bird, draw 2, have Force of Will ready to go, win game. Cool. That was the 1v1, yeah? Yeah. Hard to tell sometimes. There's a lot in common. I don't know about this Deathclad. It's pretty fun, though. It's pretty fun. I mean, that might be a reason to play it. There's no reason to play this 1v1 format, honestly. Unless you're having fun, I suppose. That's true for everything. But I think the main one is, it's an interesting puzzle. This is just, I don't know what this is. It's a deck building puzzle more than anything. So what if I were to go Shatter Armageddon? Number 2, which is this. Take out tags. Take out rack. Fix my mana base ever so slightly. I can tweak it a little bit. It's the other thing. What lands am I not using would be the other question. How much am I hurting myself by doing this? Also, pickup lands are a lot better. These lands, when there's only one wasteland. So that's another factor for consideration. I should be thinking about that. I should probably be using some of them. They're also better with land tags. I wonder if Flagstones is the card that's too weak in here. I wonder if that should actually be a Karoo, the Azorius. That actually makes more sense. Thing is, Flagstones, you can play it and you can use it and then you can Armageddon, sure. But you can play this and pick up Flagstones and then the next turn you can untap and hold the land in your hand. You don't need an extra land in play, but it also functions like a fake little Soul Ring there. That's pretty good. I think I like that Azorius land. Virtual card drawing. It's a way for me to get islands back into my hand. That's actually interesting, too. It does make tax a lot more interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that. I wouldn't mind having the aqueducts either. Don't know if I can sneak in 2 here, though. I'd have to replace Urborg, and I don't think that makes any sense. We can't do that with Necro and Cloud hiding around here. Maybe just 1 for now, and then just leave it at that. But yeah, the Chancery is really, really good. That actually, I like that. I like that swap there. Strangely enough. Any other land that I could swap for that aqueducts? Maybe that's enough. Let's play with that for a minute. Meanwhile, I'll create a game in here and see what I get. And I'll create a game over here and see what I get. So hopefully find something. All right, got something. This is a 1v1 commander game, not a commander 1v1 game. That's so confusing. All right, keepable hands, playing against Atraxa. Not really super great. Yeah, I mean, you look at this. This is like at least a hymn to Turok on 3 mana. The Death Cloud is not, and it's so much easier to play. But the other one would be black, black, 1, and it'd take 1 card out of their hand. The Death Cloud, on the other hand, takes forever to get going, but once it's going, it fixes a lot of, like, doesn't matter where the cards are hiding. Are they hiding in play? Are they hiding in hand? Wherever they're at, we're going to find them. We're going to get them. It doesn't kill the main thing I care about, which is my planeswalkers and my artifact mana. Opponent's Ancient Tomb there may signify a weak hand, because you think they would lead off with some, like, they're still, yeah, exactly. They're way off from, oh, okay. Sandbagging, I guess. So I'm tempted to go to Mystical Tutor here, actually. I think I will. And I'm going to go get Mana Drain. I've already got Mind Twist in my hand, and they don't really appear to be doing too much over there. So, and then this thing goes and gets Tundra or Underground, so if they attack the Watery Grave, I've got to play. If they try to get around it with a cheap spell, I can do this. Unless they've got a stop for it. But if we fight a counter war and I lose a counter war and they end up taking out my Mana Drain, then they're all ripe for a Mind Twist. So it's not great for them either way. Alright, so let's go get more blue, because that's what my hand is saying I should get. If I can run cards like that, I'm going to go ahead and dump. So, if they don't do anything too rough here, then I get to twist them, and if they do, then I'm 1 away from getting Breya down and pressuring them. So it's fairly good either way. Yeah. Very nice. Alright, so the great thing here too is that I can attack their blue mana at the end of their turn. They missed a land drop, so hard to Mind Twist now, or hard to counterspell now, right? You can Snapcast or a Miscalculation or Inquisition. I don't much care. Should have done the Inquisition, I suppose. Can't cycle. That's actually a card that I'd love to hit with my twist, so I'm actually not at all unhappy to see that go away. I'd love to, like, I want to hit their land, so the fact that they just put a 2-1 in play, it's just one less card for me to fight about, Yeah. So if I draw a land, I'm better off brainstorming first. But if there's no land in the top 3, then that really hurts. But the reason I'm better off if I hit a land is that I might also hit a cheap artifact. Like that. So 2, let's see, yeah, 2, 3. So I can do it this way. This way. And now I can twist their whole hand. And that's why we brainstorm first. And death. Okay. Top decking, huh? It's gonna play after that. What is the follow-up here? I mean, they could pressure me a little tiny bit with the double crypts and the snap, but yeah, I don't think so. Certainly. My opponent said they want to play again. That's awesome. Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Oh, let me get out of this 1v1 garbage. Set it up. Who did I just face? 5 color something. Bad stuff. All right, cool. Here we go. Very much a keep. Get this down so if my opponent has a comparable draw and I rip a red, then I can just steal it and then they lose. Ah, nasty. Okay. Very nice. Okay, what don't I want? What can I get rid of? Yours is a bit early. Wow, not super great. I'm going to dump. So since I don't care as much what I draw here, we want to put this on the bottom. I think this needs to go on the bottom as well. What I want to do is just dig. And what I'm kind of looking for here is, yeah, I'm looking for mana, right? Opponent's on the mana attack plan, so I'm just trying to dig into mana sources. Eventually, will get it all back. Their whole mana plan goes out the window. Uh-oh. And this is the other reason I need to stay on my mana is, like I said, the deck fading. So I can ponder. I can strip them. It's really the kind of game, that's kind of the game that they want to be playing now. Alright, so not shuffling. Going this route. So I'm going to wait on the strip mine play. see what my opponent's strategy is here, because if they go after my hand but they don't really have any other play, if they like do say Inquisition no play, then fine. Yeah, they may be tight, and that's the thing. Their development hasn't been as smooth as mine because I've got the So if I wait just long enough, this may get the scoop. And then I know the next card is land, which actually will help get me closer to my commander. I'll strip, and then we're set. I'll start attacking their hand with Narset. It's likely, oh well, all right, maybe not. Deluge. Okay. Okay. So I might have to use Demonic to... Alright, so let's go ahead and kill this guy. So I could DT... So I want to use this for white if I get an opportunity to do so. So there's a lot of different things going on right now, but I think the main thing here is I think a defensive Demonic Tutor makes a lot of sense. And what I could go get here is actually Force of Will, slam Narset, plus up, target them, make them discard, and then Force of Will, whatever their play is. Yeah, I think that's actually the way to go. So I could be defensive, like real defensive. If I were, then I would be sitting on a mana drain right now, but I like this proactive defense. Alright, because I'm going to slam this. I start drawing extra cards off a Narset, or accumulating, but then Dak Faden also threatens to pick up some extra cards. I'll grab the Talisman, because I can actually go Talisman into Commander here. And then we'll plus up, and then after that I can start stealing the artifacts off Dak. Excuse me. Yeah, that's exactly why we wastelanded or strip mined prior to that negate that my opponent was holding there. Prior to my attack step, that is. So, opponent's fighting a really good fight. Like, this is magic. This early slug fest of development versus development, right? I love this. So I'm going to plus Dak again. I'm going to minus Narset. Opponent can't even draw their way out of this because of the whole thing that prevents them from drawing. So go ahead and nail him here. I'm letting him get choice cards, but best of three. It's not a good position to be in, right? Okay, we'll grab Forbid. It probably scoops now. Absolutely no reason to do anything here. Just continue to Dak them to death. I could Impulse, but Impulse is Force of Will food, so nope. I'm just going to chill out and continue to win. Oh, well, in that case, why don't I take that? Thank you. Alright, we'll just stop during your draw step. Draw phase, whatever they call it these days. And now that we're there, how about if you draw 3 more cards? And then discard 3. Another opponent with an instant in response? That's pretty cool. I suppose it's because Dak's been powering up their hand a little bit, but still. There we go. Carrying on. Alright, opponent gives up there. Let's try another round. Narset was just so good for this deck. It's such an easy fit for that kind of power. Very mediocre. Am I playing first or not? Yes, I am. Alright, I'll keep on a go first. Land into this, vindicate something. Very, very solid. Talisman keeps me up with a Soul Ring, sort of. Basically, I hit 4 mana when they hit 3 mana first, but I hit 4 mana at the same time, or first? Yeah, go ahead. It's like, so they go land Soul Ring, I go land Talisman. I've got 3, but they're the first one to get to use it. They get to use their 4 mana, then I get to use 4 mana. So they get, basically they go first instead of me, but it's not a 2-turn jump, which is the big deal. Okay. Okay, got the mystical. That's very nice. Opponent doesn't know that that's hiding in my hand. And I don't think I need to tell them either. I've got the muddle the mixture there. It's good stuff. We play a little Drago for a little while. I drew some extra lands, so. Especially with them having too many cards in hand. Cool, I'll take a card. And then run it out this way. So white, colorless, and a black. Go after this mana. Muddle back after their counter. Oh, they're going to go get extra mana here. Yeah, that's fine. Because my opponent has Force of Will here, and I counter this, then I'm worse off. If I let them go 2-drop a land, well, so what? They'll probably get Soul Ring or something, but then they'll have to tap their Delta to get the ring down, and I'll just DT for, I'll Mystical for DT, and trade that in for a Dak Faden, and then they'll probably scoop, so. And then this way, I still have Muddle up. If the card they got was something different, like some kind of, yeah, I don't know what it would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could have gotten something like Treasure Cruise, perhaps. Brainstorm, and then Muddle it. Tithe. There you go. That's an example of a card they could have gotten. So are we going to get the Force? So they force, they go to 4 cards, then 6 cards, they play land, they go to 5 cards. Then I Mystical for Mind Twist, and I twist them for 4. Sorry, this deck's just very good. I may actually want to mind twist him here regardless. Opponent's feeling embarrassed. I said it's a bad combo of some luck, but also this deck is doing exactly, what it's designed to do. This is what it does. So, I think a twist for 4 is probably good enough to end this. And I'm certain if my opponent had something that they wanted that they were going to do, that they would have done it, right? All right. So one option could be will, but then I'm not. There isn't enough mana for me to will into like destruction here. So another option is go get demonic tutor and demonic for something that I can use to kind of dig into the rest of what I want. And another option is to just go get um, will. And I think the best thing to do might actually be to Narset, because I actually have so let me go grab that Narset, Narset. Um, this allows me to pressure my opponent. They can't brainstorm their way out of this. It sets me up with the Colosseum very soon. It digs me into more pressure. I like this a little bit better than the rest of what I was considering. Sure, it's 1 second. I'm going to give this guy my list real quick. Where is it? What is this Wizards of the Coast chunk? Where is my list? Oh, the deck. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Bouncer Tundra is looking real good right here. Will, a good will. 1, 2, 3, and then Vindicate land, something like that, and then flashback. Yeah, like that. I think so. Bonus asking if I agreed that the game was over. Yes, absolutely. But in case it didn't seem like that was actually the case, threw the Yogg Will in there. Anyway, okay, cool. New game. Certainly helps that I've won the die roll a few times. Opponent's winning this one though. And yeah. We're off to a start here. Hopefully no Soul Ring, but if they do, I've got Disenchant. It's just one of those things that I would much prefer to play on the next turn. Oof, Mana Vault, that's scary also. Vault Talisman is interesting. Okay, well maybe. Okay, maybe. So I can actually Grim the Talisman off the board. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do what this deck was designed to do. Alright, cool. So now I've actually got Necro mana with very quickly. And then I can go after the waste. Waste play, charge, Necro is what I want to happen over the next 2 turns. Hopefully drawing some extra artifact mana for that workshop to do a little bit more business. But even if that doesn't happen, it's pretty good right now. Not great though. My Grim matches their vault, but my workshop does not match their land. I'm still behind. And if my opponent kills the relic, then I'm really hurting. That's also painful. Well, it's got to be the same plan. And I'm pretty sure I killed their green. Because I killed their green already once. They've used a green fetch. Let's, the question is, do I want to seal now or what? If I seal, I can go get... So I don't want him using the Confident much, right? I want to get that off the board, but the best way to get it off the board might not be the obvious way of just like swords to plowshares. It might be, but maybe I go get like, or maybe I don't worry about it as much. Maybe I tap this and I play a lantern, and then, or maybe I go land Necro or land Lotus Necro, and I just pull so far ahead. But it's just risky because if they have counter magic and a blue, or they have disruption for this, then I got a lot of trouble. If I go get a lantern, I can play the lantern, play a land, I'm still behind. If I go get swords, I can plow this no matter what, and then I can pull ahead with Necro. I think swords has got to be the answer, so it's going to be STP. Hate to do it. The other option was some kind of like trick where I work my way through a trying to get a shackles into play. Treachery. Okay, treachery I can live with. All right, so the idea is going to be something like land, plow, charge, necro. Wasteland, I don't mind at all, because, and this is where it turns out very good that I did not. If I had got the Lotus right here, with the intention of going land, Lotus, necro to surpass my opponent, this Wasteland would kill me. I'd lose. But that actually was really good for me, because it's another turn of my opponent not really developing too much, and me having the time to recoup all the lost card advantage soon. So, okay. Can't wait for their upkeep for this player that gets another card. He's got Treachery, so if he has Force, this is trouble, but otherwise, looks pretty good. Okay. If my opponent would just... Yes, that's what I wanted, was just stall one turn so I can slam Necro and get the win. Man, you never want this deck to tap for black. Like, it's just the worst. Everything that costs black mana is bad, 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 right? Especially this guy. All right. Turned an insane start from my opponent into this. Flip this game. I love that. This is like, man, Magic feels so good when you play these like super difficult games like this. Um, it's great no matter what happens, but it's, victory is extra sweet and defeats are less like you still you gotta respect your opponent, and that's awesome. Like you learn something in defeat, you feel fantastic when you win. Right now, I'm calling this as a win. I've got Necro down. I'm way ahead on mana, ahead on cards. I've got a force, so yeah, we get confidant out of the game. I guess my opponent's start wasn't insane, but it was pretty damn good. Narset's going to shut off the top, so he's going to be super disappointed by that, I'm sure. I'll go ahead and get a... we'll get this down, get Narset into play. I can force with Fact because I've got Necro. Yeah, the top just got turned into kind of bad news. I'm going to go ahead and just Necro for 2, not Narset at all. I'm going to go ahead and use Narset to dig in just a bit. But right now I'm tapped out. It's not helping me a ton. On a turn like this where I can play multiple things, then I can dig and then decide how best to use it. So, opponent DTs, sure. Probably more mana is what I'm guessing. Excuse me. So now they've got top, and then unknown is what the rest is. I can let them go get a Soul Ring or a Crypt here and then deal with it with the negation, and then they can't top deck it, which I like a lot better than countering the tutor, and then it turns out they've been sandbagging it, or it's just the very next card they draw. Not so good. So they've got top and 4 unknowns, none of it's land, and then of course whatever they're getting here, which is probably a Soul Ring or a Crypt. Opponents also lost a third of their life. I can put a lot of pressure on them with Breya, so go ahead and force that now. So this is a perfect turn for using Narset because I don't have a lot to do with my cards, so... Opponent's asking me how often I play. And I'm telling them, I'm telling them, and he has my email, so... my opponent, sure. Opponent wants to play one more. Absolutely, we can definitely play one more. I always love playing against people who've got decks of the appropriate power level, and clearly this opponent does. And I mean, she's got even Nature's Claim in it. Like it's awesome. That start was incredibly good. I just ripped the perfect top deck with the workshop that I drew. Oh, this hand is insane. Man, I will not mulligan, but I need my opponent to not disrupt me, please. This doesn't look good. Stay out of my hand. No disruption, please. Because my start is insane. Forcing it. All right, it's going. It is some disruption. Forced with the cryptic. Yeah, that's pretty smart. So you can still get the Lotus down next turn. Hopefully. I don't know if my opponent has negate or not. So it's a big question. I thought about stripping there, but it wouldn't have done any good against a Force of Will. So I was a little concerned with like Mana Tithe or something. Not Tithe, but the Force Spike. But I don't think Workshop would pay for the Crypt. Anyway. This hand is insane if I can get it going, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking to start out. Oh, I didn't quite do the tithe right. Okay, well, that's all right. Didn't quite do the tithe correctly. I'm going to run it this way. Okay. Just kind of hide the strip mine, and then potentially disenchant tithe this turn would be ideal. If my opponent counters tithe, I'm not going to. But I could tap out to tithe, but then they could disenchant the Lotus, which is a bit of a concern. So I actually want to tithe next turn. Because I don't need tithe to hit in order to make my land drops, but I do want to protect my Lotus if I can help it. So we'll do it this way, and then I want to show them how to tithe. Here's yeah, control. Let's target the Watery Grave. And then do it that way. All right, so hopefully that'll help them out in future games. Opponent's down a card right now, though. I will take it. That was nice. Wow, that lets me sneak out push out a Breya here with counter backup. Although truthfully, it's not the Breya that I'm trying to back up the counter spell on. Like, I'm not trying to protect Breya. What I'm trying to do is have a counter to protect me. I don't care about Breya here. If Breya doesn't stick, I'll just replay it with Workshop. But I need a counter spell because right now I have no. The only defensive card I have is Breya for creatures and Disenchant for what is same Atraxa, right? Yeah, Disenchant for other things, but that doesn't do me any good. Breya and Disenchant don't do any good if my opponent plays like well, obviously Necro being the biggest one, Mind Twist, anything like that, right? So the counterspell's my one protection against those types of things. Yeah, that tithe hurt my opponent here because now they've got to use a Chrome Mox imprinted with Bribery, and Dynamo. So I can counter this, disenchant this. Might be a way to go, or I can just disenchant this and then save the counter. Would I trade a counterspell for a Chrome Mox? Because that's really the question, right? And I don't think the answer is yes. I will kill the Terran Dynamo, though. I think killing that with a disenchant instead of this is fine, and doing it any other way is just too aggressive. I can target it here with 1 mana floating, so can't be dazed. Opponent can't play Force of Will, and the other Force of Will only can be played on my turn, so it's pretty safe to tap out there and not back it up with a counter. Yeah. So opponent has 2 cards, I have 2 counters. This is a much stronger situation than if I were to have countered that, disenchanted this thing, and then just sat on just a 1 counter magic. So I'll go ahead and play this out. And then Breya is just going to do what Breya does, completely invalidate my opponent's commander that's not really until a solution is found. And that's why Breya, I think, is the best control commander. Sure. Who do you want to trade with? So, if I were to allow this to happen, does that make any sense? Or am I better off just dealing 3 to my opponent? And then letting the Gilded Drake die. I think that's a little bit better. All right. I want to clear my attack stop inconspicuously here. All right, so with this, I actually have enough black, red, blue, white to actually counter multiple times. You know, off of the Lotus and off of the 2 mana that's untapped, so that it's really impossible for my opponent to push anything through here whatsoever. So they're in the game, sort of, but not really. Two cards, 1 card in hand, 2 cards in hand over here to deal with them. So 2 time walks or 1.5. Let's see what the opponent's play is. Yeah, X is 3. Not interested in that. Thank you. And then from there, it's just face game. Unless I may have enough mana to actually win right now. 4, 5, 6, 7. Should have done the math on it. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, probably can. 10. So it's 3, 6, 9. Yeah, let's do it this way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, take 3, take 3, take 3, take 3. A walking fireball / drain life / Umezawa's Jitte, basically. It's a living Umezawa's Jitte. No time like the present. Awesome. That's probably a good closer. I'll throw the game up in case they want to play anymore. Yeah. Because he was saying last game, but I think he's been last gaming himself for a while. All right, cool. Still a tracks, huh? Got a good start here. I'm going second. It's a little bit worse. A little bit better if I draw some white mana, but Interesting. I think Doretti's going to have to go away. I don't think they're taking a mana source. Oh, interesting choice. Okay. I mean, I can respect that. Unfortunately, yeah, for my opponent, that brainstorm I just ripped means that if their plan was to duress the Doretti out of my hand, to Inquisition it, yeah, that is not gonna work out so well. Well, I don't want Wayfarer here. Sure. Now they got Force. Because it's not gonna be Force Spike. It might be a 2 mana. It could be Pierce. Man's getting worse here with these singleton white. All right, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, let's kill this right now. This is your last chance. Okay. Yep. Boom. Funny thing is, if you stifle the effect, I don't have to sacrifice anything. I'm sure there's a way to move the. There we go. Move it up. Oh, yeah. All right. So opponents. I'm not great here. I'm considering whether or not I want to even play this grave. I think I will, but I'm not sure about it. So if I were to draw Mox Diamond here, then I have to wait for another land before I can get anything going. Other than Mox Diamond, though, I don't need to necessarily hold the land. And if there was anything else I was going to draw, well, I could just play the land and then play it like right here. It would have cost me an extra 2 life, I suppose. Opponent's got Mox Diamond that I can copy with the ready also down the road. But yeah, I'm going to vamp here. A little painful because I need to get mana going. I could get Opal. I'm not super worried about Opal. Demonic Tutor. And none of this is like, it's not great no matter what I choose. Command Tower might be my best choice, honestly. And that's pretty disappointing. I think I will get that actually. Because what I want to do is I want to get him with the sword. And I want to get on that ASAP, so... Actually, no, I want to get Skull Clamp. I want to just rebuild my hand. And, Skull Clamp is like draw 6, draw 3 cards per turn. It's an Ancestral Recall every turn in this board, so... Okay. Opponent was saying that he felt that he hasn't been providing enough of a challenge, but I think my opponent's been. Sorry. I think my opponent's been providing very interesting games. And I'm trying to tell him that, basically, like, if it might feel like that, but truth of the matter is I haven't had, I'm making better, I'm having to make more decisions now than I've had to make all night, right? So I'm going to go get crypt because I just have tons of cards here, so what I want is tons of mana. Let's get that crypt down. And then go for it. Clampy clamp. Yeah. And my opponent's saying being on 0 mana on turn 6 is a nasty feeling. And I'm like, yeah. Because what it is you're the Walking Dead. The game is over. You've lost, but you're not actually taken out of the game. So by the rules of the game, if you believe there's an implied, like, if you add to the rules of the game and you add the rule that says, I'm not allowed to quit, I have to just let my opponent beat me up until they win, it's a horrible feeling because you know that you're in for lots of beatings. On the other hand, if you don't add that mental rule, then you're basically okay. It's not that bad. It's just the same as somebody getting a turn 6 kill. Um, it's just a kill that you have to accept, right? So what I really want to do is turn Visions into a land, play the Mox Diamond and Imperial Seal. That's the dream. It's very risky, though. I could run out the Diamond Seal for... I think it's the correct play, but it is a risk. Oops. Because this hides the fact that I'm weak right now, that my hand's weak, to disruption. My opponent will still attempt to disrupt, most likely, but if they're set with a situation where they have to choose between disruption and development, they may choose development, which gives me time, hopefully, to find a land. So let's hope that I do indeed find a land. So there was no land in my top 3, so will there be one as my 4th card? Because if not, I'm probably dead. I might have gone land, Imperial Seal, Tutor, Workshop, Slam Workshop, Thran Dynamo, and then I'm off to the races, but I don't know. Alright, so opponent's running out Mox. It's not good. Mox off of Impulse? It's really not. This is not good. Alright, so probably I lose this game. The next card really needs to be land. Jesus. Not happening, huh? Hmm. One more turn to find land, I suppose, possibly. So it really depends on how my opponent develops from here, or disrupts. Like, what do they do? If it's a little bit slower, okay, yeah, I agree with that. That's problematic. Okay, so I've got to get that down. I can't win a counter war, right? So what I have to do is get the force of will out of my opponent's hand, most likely. Well, one of the easier ways to do it may be to just demonic tutor here. And presumably my opponent will counter this. Because I can win a counter war if they don't. Oh, okay. Gonna show me what you're tutoring for, I guess. Yeah, orb is not too bad for me. Alright, so what I want to get is... I was thinking Ancient Tomb. It's probably going to be Workshop. It could be a throwaway land for the Mox. I think Workshop's fine, though. So I could have done a throwaway land Mox Imperial Seal type play. But this will be alright. Alright, so my opponent's trying to slow me down with the orb. I'm pretty happy with this. Time is what I actually need, right? Okay, so orb's down. We'll yield. Opponent has Force of Will. I assume they have a blue card. Managed to get out of this trap. Okay, we'll get that down, run out the Mox Diamond. Clear the combat step. Play the Talisman. Opponent forces, I don't think I care that much. I'd like the mana for the force, but I think this is fine. So what I can do is untap the Imperial Seal, or the Volcanic Island, and then Imperial Seal for like Dak Faden. And then I think I'm in great shape. That, on the other hand, not so great. If I counter to protect it, I get 2 mana. If I counter to protect it, like, it's gonna die. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. It sucks. Okay. I just have to be patient. My opponent runs out their commander. They're pretty sure at this point that I don't have any counter magic, right? Then I mana drain into Thran Dynamo and then take it from there. Oh my gosh, really? That was nasty. Okay. Sure. Right, so they're going to get their commander down and put some pressure on me. I'm going to fix my mana base here. Man, that was gnarly. Okay, well, it happens. I'm not going to get too upset about it. I think you mean to tap for green there. So, not that it would matter if I were, or not that me being upset would have any impact on this game anyway. All right. let's get out of this situation. Pretty nuts. Proliferate, not hurting me yet. All right, so we'll run this out this way. All right. I think actually what I want is opal. And then I need to Imperial Seal, I think. So the question is whether or not I go get Zach Faden. The other option is I could go pick up a Vandal Blast. So if I VB, it actually takes out the orb as well, which, frankly, I kind of like having in play. I could go get Lotus, and then I could run out Lotus, and then I can sit on Mana Drain. And then from there I can Mystical Teachings plow this off the board, and I really like that a lot. So I guess I'll just go get Lotus because it's safe. Or at least. Oh, looks like my hand is going to take a dump here. Well, my opponent tapped a little bit oddly. I'm not sure. Maybe they kill some artifact mana here or something. If they're not hitting my hand, I don't know. They may have gotten a counter to try to protect their board, but of course we know that that's not going to work. Okay, so they're going to wasteland me. So Crucible Waste is what I'm facing, but lands aren't exactly a priority for me with the... Okay. So don't want to do it off Workshop? I kind of do. And then... Alright, so I've got enough mana to Teachings for Mystical Tutor for Vandal Blast. If I want to go that route. Yeah, kill whatever. Kill everything except for 2 mana on my opponent's side of the board and then clean it up. I think probably makes a ton of sense, and I can flashback the teaching, so... Alright, let's teachings. And mana drain that. And we'll Mystical Tutor, Vandal Blast everything. I think that's the way to go. I think. I hope it's right. All right, so grab the mana from that, and then that lets me flashback teachings. Should. We'll see how this goes. So wipe that out. Take another beating from that thing, and then I'm going to flashback teachings and probably go get. Do I want necropotence? Gotta be careful. I don't want to take too many beatings from that. Or I can go get Yogg Will, and then Will. Makes sense. All right. All right, so flashback. If I go get Yogg Will. So I could also just get Cryptic and just bounce that thing off the board. I could get Factor Fiction. Or I can get an answer for this that also draws me cards. But I won't be able to play it if I get that. Get Snapcaster. Sorry, thank you. I need. So if I get Snapcaster. And then, so what I was thinking is I want to Fairy, right? So Snapcaster. Yeah, God, the card I really want is Shockwell. So Vamp, Will, Land, Brainstorm. Yeah, I think Yogg-Will's fine. All right, let's do it this way then. So Will, I can Volcanic, I can Imperial Seal, and then Brainstorm into whatever I want off the top, which is probably a honestly, it's probably a Gilded Lotus. Could be an Urza, could be a Soul Ring, could be a Treachery. Brainstorm. I need to get enough blue though, so I think yeah, I think I'm just gonna go get a Gilded Lotus. Did I already kill my Lotus? Is that what happened? Oh, I have one. Oh, copy artifact. That's what I need. No. Chromatic Lantern. There we go. Okay. Rainstorm. All right, 1, 2. So I'll play that. I can serum it into my hands. Bottom, bottom. Play the Mox. Play the Talisman. Then I can Demonic Tutor. Then I can Swords, and then I can Mystical Tutor. All right. And I will go get a Fact or Fiction. Refill the old hand, and then I think we're in great shape. I'm trying to get there before my opponent can hit their Yagwell and do something similar, right? It's time to run out the old Breya and see what happens. I'm not going to wait. Just put more cards in my opponent's hand. Doesn't make any sense. Get on that gravy train. I'm almost out of tutors right now. So you can't put the leak with the scroll, and you really can't put a counter with the Duretti. So this is basically no good at all, no matter how they split it. Because I'm going to take a counter and a Duretti either way. You slice it. But if I get the Merchant Scroll and the Duretti, I'm going to go get Cryptic and draw more cards off of that. So, yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, it's going to be blue, colorless, Merchant Scroll. And Duretti starts doing his work. And it's looking pretty good now. I think I've gotten out of the point of the game where my opponent's going to come back. More than likely, they're not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get myself, okay, yeah, so this is what I want. So this is a bit of a risk, but I'm going to take it. Because what I want is my, I want Pithing Needle, or I want Skull Clamp for the Duretti. So that this way now I can just completely refill my hand. So go get the old Skull Clamp. They could have Mental Misstep, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to run the clamp into the possibility. Okay, at duress. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Well, five color bad stuff. If you're watching this, um, it's actually an amusing name, but frankly, I would say you're the good stuff. So thank you very much. It was an awesome set, and you actually made my deck come together very nicely. I can stop looking at this ugly 1v1 thing that's, I don't know. Don't know exactly what that is, but the beauty of Breya is exactly in what you saw there. It's one of those things where the more skilled of a pilot you are, the better you can fly this plane. Basically, there was a couple of instances where I was in a lot of trouble. I mean, my opponent was hammering my mana, crush, crushing my situation, putting pressure on me. Um, that game where I got strip mined, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me? You know, like, it's so challenging when you have a strong opponent and they just slam you. But gotta say, awesome, awesome games, and that's what I love about this deck very much. So hopefully you get a chance to, hopefully you enjoyed this long video. I know that I'm not the greatest speaker when I'm actually playing because that part of my brain tends to shut down. So clearly I'm not going to make millions of dollars streaming on Twitch if I'm ever intend to be a good player, but I do try to provide entertainment and some interest to you. So hopefully you got that out of this. I had a great time, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Yep. We'll see you next time.